Welcome to Angel Institute Season 2. I'm author Erica Penrod with my friend Lucy McConnell. This season, we're going to be talking about all things Cupid as we focus on the Cupid division of Angel Institute. Talking about date nights, relationships, and all of the yummy stuff. So sit down, relax, and join us, and let's get started.
Hello and welcome back to Angels Unscripted. I'm your host, Lucy McConnell, and I'm here with my co-host and beautiful friend, Erica Penrod.
Hello.
Hi.
It's good to be here on this wintry spring day.
I know. It's so cold. It's snowing.
It's snow again.
We had a power outage last night. Did you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
yeah.
night.
All
night.
Midnight to 7 a.m. It was out, but we didn't know about it until we got up this morning.
My oldest daughter gets up like at 5 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she was up at like 5. She's like, Mom, where's this and that? And I'm like, above the dryer. That's where all the flashlights, all the lanterns are. So anyway, It was a little reminder to be. I actually ended up pulling out my flashlights, going through everything, and finding a couple batteries that I need to replace. Yeah. And so it was a little reminder to be a little more prepared. So
I know. We ate breakfast by candlelight. It was very nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. And they were smelly candles. So my kids were all like, why do my Cheerios taste like ocean breeze?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
so yeah, it was a fun morning. It was an interesting morning is what it was. That was good times.
I'm not a pioneer. I know it.
I know. I used to think I could have been a pioneer. Like when I was in my teenagers, I'd be like, I could have done that. I mean, I was really active physically. I was I could do a lot back then. And then I got pregnant with my first kid, and I was like, nope, you guys would have buried me on the side of the road holding my baby. Like, this is how it would have happened, because pregnancy did not go well. Like, it was not an easy thing for me. So, all the way up until that, and then I was totally humbled.
Well, said, no. I guess it's not that I couldn't have done it. I just probably... I guess if you wouldn't have known any different, it wouldn't, it would be what it is. But I prefer power.
I know.
I don't know. I'm just thinking I do. I don't know for sure. But because I haven't been without it. So, okay. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about traveling with your significant other and doing that well. I don't know. It's funny because I've heard of families that go and they like fight all through their, and I've been to, I went to Disney this last month, and I did not pay a lot of attention to other families and conflict, but back when I had strollers and there were times that you would just sit for a while other people went on things. I would watch families argue and things, and I'm like, you're on a trip. You should be the happiest people, happiest people in the world. Things like that. So we're going to talk about
when
traveling.
They argue in a different language.
I know.
And you're like, I don't understand a word, but I'm pretty sure he just told you what he thought about this. Like, I don't know what he said, but I could tell through body language what was
not working out well for you. Yes.
So I think traveling is a big thing for people.
It can either be a really big stressor, or it can be a huge stress reliever.
To get away
from life. And so for me, it's more of the stress reliever. I love going on vacation. I really enjoy. I love having a maid that comes in and cleans the room once a day and makes my bed. That's always fabulous. Yeah. But even if I don't have that, I just love that it's a minimalist for a few days, and I don't have to worry about all the other things and stuff around me.
Yes. Yeah. I love to travel as well, but I also love to go home. Yeah. Like I'm a 50-50 probably. Well, let's make that 70-30. 30% travel, 70% home. I love to be home too, but I really enjoy traveling. So we've done...
So let me ask, do you and your husband like to go to the same places?
That's what we're on the same wavelength there. Okay, so... we do a lot of traveling with the horses, and that's mainly my husband's competing, or when the kids were competing and that. So that was mainly, that's what he absolutely loves, and I love it as well. So I feel like because we do so much of that, he's willing to try
other travels.
We went, it was a long time ago, 10 years ago. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, about 10 years ago, we went on our first cruise as a couple, and we went with 4 other couples because we all have the same anniversary year. Oh, this is really fun. Yeah. So
that must have been a really busy year for you guys.
Yeah. So we went on a cruise, and he enjoyed it, but there were parts that he was like, I don't know if I really loved it, you know. But the thing that's so great is because he was able, once you get on the ship, if you don't buy the Wi-Fi, you're like not connected to work. So that was good for him.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago? So it was several years in between, but then we went on another cruise and we went to the Bahamas this time, and he absolutely loved it. In fact, we're going again in a couple weeks. So
awesome.
It's like it wasn't his thing that he would volunteer and be like, hey, let's go on a cruise. But he's learning to love it, and so I appreciate that. But like, okay, Disney, no, he's not a fan.
No,
he scared the kids in the park because he'll love that I'm telling the story. So no,
I have to hear it now. Sorry, you teased it.
So we went, and it was really fun. We took our little grandsons, and we took all of our kids for Christmas, and it was in January. So we had like one really good day of weather, one half good day of weather, and then it rained the other time. So it was a little challenging.
Yeah, especially with littles.
Yeah, and I knew this was not going to be his thing. Like, I mean, anyway, so, but that, I don't even know what it's called. Like off in the far corner where there's like the Roger Rabbit, right? Like the little kid Toontown, that little kid park, like where they can run and climb on things. Yeah. Well, my grandson was on the little roller coaster with his mom, and I was watching, and then my husband disappears. I'm like, where is he? Well, I look, and he is like over on the side, and there was like a rock thing, and he was like laying down on it and like sleeping. But it was scaring the kids. There was a little kid running by, and he's like, Daddy, why is that guy laying there? I was like, you gotta get up. You're freaking the kids out. Like, so.
That is hilarious.
Long story short, I went to Universal Studios last fall without him. Yeah. And he says, go have fun. And I said, I'll see you when I get home. So no, there are vacations that I know we are not going to do together. Yeah. So, and that's okay, right?
Yeah. Yes. Oh no, totally. So more than okay. Like, I think you have to, because a part of you needs to go and do the things that are you feel called to do. So,
well, also I know he would go if I asked him. I know he would be like, okay, I'll come, but I don't want to worry about you.
Right.
I want to go have a good time, and I want to. So anyway, so how do you travel as a couple if you have different interests? Like
it can be a challenge. It can definitely be a challenge because so Craig and I have been talking about planning different trips with the kids, because we're in such transitional phases where we have one graduating, and then we have one who will be her senior year, and then we have some that are on the cusp of buying their own house. And, I mean, they're just kind of and one going to college. Like, they're all, so it's like we plan these trips to just, because for me, I love pulling them all together and having them in one place, and they're just mine for a little while.
Yep. I love that too.
Yeah, it's just a great feeling. And so, so we've been talking about planning these trips, and his idea is, well, let's all go fishing in Alaska. I'm like, do you hear the crickets?
Pause.
There's crickets. I'm like, I have no desire to go fishing in Alaska. I really have no desire. And I know that probably at least a third of the people in the group have no desire to go fishing in Alaska. But if we did a cruise in Alaska that allowed for a day excursion of fishing, then it's doable, because they can excurge.
Is that a real word, or is it one of your?
Not my word.
Is that one of your?
I really don't think that the cruise line has excurge on their brochures or their online.
I keep teasing you. I've got to write these down.
I know, my kids write stuff down. I tell them to, like, they have a running thing, and I'm sure one day they'll start a podcast and use my words as their jumping off point. But no, I think there's, like, I'm willing to go. I want to see him enjoy his experience and be able to accomplish this in his life, but I just really don't have a desire to participate in the actual fishing. So, like, I tried when we were first married to fish, and I'm bored out of my mind. Like, and so then I'm scaring fish away just because I'm, like, stomping my feet or something to just keep myself interested. So I'm like, I will sit on the bank and read a book and be really, really happy. Yeah. Like, I'll look up and I'll watch you, and when you catch a fish, I'll take your picture, like, all these things. And I'm like, but I am not the person to get in the water next to you and fish. And so we've had to come up with different ways that we enjoy the same space, maybe not same activity, right? But it's about being together, right? So
I looked up a couple tips for traveling as couples, and one thing it says to discuss your travel goals, like before you even start booking. Like what kind of trip are you hoping for? Like, is this a relaxing trip? Is this like, oh, let's go on an adventure? Like, is this a bonding trip? Is it like, what are you both looking for? And I guess that would probably be like, that would help manage your expectations.
Right, because if I'm going to go relax and he's over there like, let's jump off this cliff or climb up this waterfall, I'm going to be like, that is not why I'm here. Yeah.
So that's a really good, I like that one. Okay, budgeting. Discuss and agree on your budget. So that's kind of a given.
That's easy because we like you either have the money or...
Yeah. Are you both comfortable? So travel styles. Are you both comfortable with a fast-paced itinerary, or do you prefer a slower, more relaxed approach? Which is kind of what we talked
manage
about.
Your expectations.
Yeah. Because I think that's why Cody and I travel so well on the cruise. Like, we are both readers. He loves to read too, so we love to go lay out on the deck, have our little soda and our book, and we're just happy as can be, like. And there's other people that are like, let's go do this, and we're like, okay,
they want to go the whole time.
We're fine, we're gonna go take a couple hours and just chill out. And so we like that happy medium there. Okay. And also but also recognizing, like, I know I'm not going to want to fly into Alaska either on the tiny little plane and do the fishing trip, which he has done. And I'm like, go have so much fun. And we're planning an Alaskan cruise for next year. And I'm with you. Like, I would love to see Alaska, but the fishing thing is not for me.
I'd love to see the whales, and I'd love to see the landscapes. Like, all of it sounds so amazing, but I'm more there for the pretty.
So I guess that's again with your expectations and supporting each other and the differences that you have. And so,
Can we just talk for just a moment about packing styles?
And
how much do you think those actually have to coordinate versus... We have done entire family trips that were week long that everybody could only take what they could carry in a backpack. And then,
oh my goodness.
And then we do what we call bougie trips, where everybody gets a giant checked bag and you can pack as much as you want, and like as much or as little, whatever, but you've got, like, we've done both. And it's been fabulous that everybody is willing to do either way. So when I was in college, I backpacked Italy for 3 weeks, but literally you carry your stuff on your back, and you're like washing it in the sink, and I've done that kind of a trip before, and I'm like, Italy was worth it. It was worth it to see Italy, to travel that way and not travel bougie. But there are other times when I'm like, I do not want to have to worry about washing things in the sink and hanging them to dry and then making sure that I just don't want to deal with that. And so I think you have to discuss some of that stuff too. Like, what are we packing? How much are we, and whose suitcases got this?
My husband definitely takes more stuff than me. Okay, so have you ever traveled to Texas with a cowboy going to a cowboy event that required cowboy clothes?
Multiple hats. I'm like, how do you?
So the hat thing was, he just had to wear his hat. So that was.
Did he get it on the airplane?
I think so.
Because
and then he carried. Well, maybe he had it in a hat box. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But no, the issue was the boots, because
it's taking a lot of space.
He wanted to bring more than one pair of boots, and so we literally get to we're checking our bag, and the lady is like, sir, this is like overweight. And so we learned a valuable lesson. I'm like, you really can't take too many cowboy boots.
There is
this thing as like how many cowboy boots you can take.
That is funny.
So that was really fun. That was a lesson we learned. But as far as packing now, because I am a certified KonMari consultant, and so folding is a specialty now. I can fit a lot in a suitcase. And so I will help him. But my husband, cruise, we're packing everything in a suitcase. But if he can, he'd prefer to bring things that are hanging up, because he has starch.
He loves starch.
He likes starch.
He's a fan of starch. You should buy stock in starch company.
I know.
Because he had children. So
half goes to the dry cleaners, and then half he does at home. So Anyway, that's funny. But packing has been interesting. But since I've learned how to do the KonMari method of folding, that helps a lot.
Yeah. And so now probably there are like hundreds of people out there now going, I need to watch her pack a suitcase. Like they want a video of you packing a suitcase. Yes. I'm like, I'll see if I can nudge her in that direction, guys. We'll see.
Then I will be nervous, and I'll be like, fit in there.
You're jumping on the suitcase.
Okay.
It'll blow. Zip it now.
It will. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so we talked about and then compromise, which we just talked about.
That's, I think that's a natural part.
It is.
Of traveling together.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like this balance, your shared activities and individual activities.
Yeah.
So like
you go from like working and having jobs and being apart to all of a sudden being together all the time. Yeah. Like there might be a moment when you're like, yeah, I need to do my own thing. Yeah. And totally fine.
Yeah. So plan for that. This one. Be open to change, flexibility and adaptability. So
I'm trying to think if we've had a lot of changes happen in travel that we've been on. And we haven't really, normally things happen the way we plan them to happen. Like, yeah, I'm sure. Well, okay, no. Because like when you and I were in, was it Arkansas? And our flight got canceled. But it was like, it happens. Like,
yeah. Well, once we decided that we were okay with it and just got a hotel, it was fine. But it was the stress of like in between.
We didn't even have to pay for the hotel. Yeah, that was great. Like
when we were trying to figure out if we were actually leaving or if we were stuck there at the airport for how many hours. And then when we finally realized, and I think that's the thing, when you finally just make that decision that I'm going to be okay with what happens.
Well, and there's a plan to be okay with. Yeah. Yeah, it's that limbo where you're like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't, and you're calling your family and you're like, I don't know if we're getting another flight. I don't know if we're overnight. I have no idea. Right. But I love you and I'll be home someday.
Yes, exactly.
That's more the stress, I think.
And I feel like I experienced that with when we all went to Disneyland and just because it wasn't some of the kids' favorite thing, but again, it's like having them all together. And my kids hadn't been for a really long time, and they're like adults now. So I think my one daughter said to me, now I want to go back because I kind of know what I'm doing and know what to expect. Yeah. I think it was just kind of like we were all there and didn't know what, and so I had to wrap my head around. I had seen this, because, you give it to them for Christmas. It's this big presentation. It's like, it's so great. And we're so excited. Yeah. So you have this huge expectation of what this is going to be. And then we get there. Some of them are struggling. Some of them, just like, this wasn't what I thought or whatever. And it's rainy and cold. And so, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. It's good. It's fine. Yeah. And then just learning, okay, that's not your thing and that's okay. Yeah. We're going to do something, I'm just going to take my little grandsons back. Yeah. It'll be so fun.
And I did, we realized that one of our kids, the sounds, and I mean, the last time we took him, we had a stroller. Yeah. And he would just fall asleep in the stroller. I think we didn't realize at the time that he was shutting down. Too much stimulation. Yeah. And so we're there now this time.
You couldn't do that.
And I'm like,
put him in the stroller.
I'm realizing that he's overstimulated, and I'm like, oh, this is strange for me because I mean, he does so much that has a lot going on. That rodeo, there's a lot of sounds and there's a lot of but there's also break time because you're not constantly in the middle of it. Your event is between 3 minutes and 30 seconds depending, or even 4 seconds. We were hoping our events are 4 seconds long. So in that case, you're really not in it all as much as as constantly when you're at a theme park. And riding the roller coasters, it's a physical stimulation on top of the sound stimulation, on top of, then there was the smells, and it was just a lot of sensory stuff for him. So he ended up going back to the hotel and taking a nap. He did shut down. He took a nap and recharged. But it was something that I was like, okay, this is an actual thing. I didn't realize that this was an actual thing for him when he was little, because it was so easy to just push him around in the stroller.
And just being willing to be okay, that's okay. So we learned this about you, instead of when you get so upset when it didn't go.
Why don't you want to stay in the park?
Yes. We spent all this money. Why do you want and so when you just are no, okay, we're learning a lot of things here. We're gonna...
And my husband and I have developed a new you Disney you want a Disney thing. So I have a sister-in-law who's the kind that will run you ragged through the park. She from one thing to the next and the next and the next, and it's this constant for the 12 hours the park is open. You're going the whole entire time. And I love to go to Disney with her because she's the only one in my family that can keep up with me. But everybody else is more this experienced kind of thing. And then there's the one who's I'm going to come in and do a little, and then I'm going to go back to the hotel. Then I'm going to come do some more, and then I'm going to go back to he's that. And so anyway, it's just interesting that, and so yes, be flexible with it and allow people to have the best experience that they can have there, and that means doing it, and a lot of times doing it their way.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn this on you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, how does this apply to writing your books? How does the idea of
sometimes
traveling?
my characters are a problem. No, sometimes they want to do it their own way. And it's like, because when you are deep into a character's personality, mindset, and thought process, and you want something to happen in the plot that goes against their character, forcing it never works. You got to come up with a new way to have it happen, or a new response from them, or whatever. Like, it's really has to be true to the character in order to drive that plot forward. So
well, I think it's the reaction to change, like all of these things that we were talking about, like, are they flexible, are they adaptable when they're put into a different situation? I remember the first time when we did the romantic comedy series Diamond Cove, and I was like, how do you, because I had written just contemporary fiction romance, and some parts were humorous. I mean, you always try to add a little humor, but I had never really went after like romantic comedy. And I was nervous about it because I was like, I don't even know how you do that. But then our good friend Emily Clark said, you take your characters and you put them in funny situations, and their reactions or in bizarre situations, and their reaction is what is funny.
I love the term bizarre situation as it relates,
because if you relate to Diamond Cove, you would. I was like, bizarre. Do you know what happened?
I know it's all bizarre. It's all hilarious.
It's so fun. But I loved that idea, and so I think about that like it's the reactions, and so traveling, the same thing with your characters. You're putting them in these places or situations, and you're watching their reaction. But you've got to make it true to their character.
100%. Like I said, you can't force it. You cannot force it. So
you can't force people?
No,
even fake ones?
Even fake ones. It's ridiculous. It's like this law that is irrevocably decreed that you can't force somebody else to do something. And it matters in fiction too.
It does.
So,
so cool. All right. Well, that was a great discussion.
I just had a really weird thought. What? Maybe I shouldn't even. Now that I said that, I have to go through. This may be edited. No, I know. I'm like, what if when we die, we have to live with the characters we created?
Let me pick who I'm going to live with.
I know all of
the billionaires.
What if we have to live with all of them? Like, and that's our gosh. That would be
definitely. I'm going to Diamond Cove.
I'm like, Stephen King is screwed.
His place would be scary. That's for sure.
Actually, I think. He'd be fine. He'd be like, these are my people. In my head the whole time.
These are my people. So
that was just a random thought that popped in my head. That would be funny. Like hilarious, actually. Okay, so because I would go to Diamond Cove, I would go to my Diamond Cove Island all the time. I'd be like, hello, Dawn.
Yes.
Hello, Nancy. 7. Yes, and we would hang out. I would love them. So, okay. Do you guys have a favorite book that you would want to live with? Share, like, comment, do all those things below. We love to hear from you, and we have seen this channel is growing, and we love that you guys are all here and joining us every week to discuss different relationship aspects or different aspects of relationships. And anyway, we've had a great time. This has been really good. Cupid's is almost done.
We have one more episode.
It's crazy. I can't believe how fast this went. Cupid's has been and it's over. So
so much fun.
I have really enjoyed Cupid's. I must say. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with us for Cupid's. We will see you again next week with a new episode, and see you next week.
See you then.